BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Donald Trump has issued a stark warning, threatening to unleash unprecedented tariffs on China, with a staggering 100% tax on all Chinese goods entering the United States, slated to take effect as early as next month. This dramatic escalation comes in response to what the U.S. president has described as extremely hostile actions by Beijing to curtail its exports of vital rare earth elements, materials indispensable to American manufacturing and technological advancement. The reverberations of this aggressive stance were immediately felt on Wall Street, with major indices experiencing sharp declines as the specter of a renewed and potentially acrimonious trade war between the world's two dominant economies re-emerged, overshadowing recent efforts at détente. Just months ago, relations between Washington and Beijing appeared to be on an upward trajectory. Following intense negotiations, President Trump had agreed to significantly roll back the substantial tariffs previously imposed on Chinese imports earlier in the year, signaling a period of cautious optimism and improved economic ties. However, this fragile peace was shattered late on Friday. The president's declaration of a 100% tariff, to be applied on top of any existing duties, fundamentally altered the landscape. Set to commence on November 1st, or potentially sooner if Beijing retaliates, this move signifies a dramatic U-turn and a doubling down on protectionist policies. Furthermore, the U.S. plans to implement stringent export controls on any and all critical software, adding another layer of economic pressure. In a series of candid pronouncements on his Truth Social platform, Trump expressed a sense of inevitability, stating, "I never thought it would come to this, but perhaps, as with all things, the time has come." He articulated a belief that this potentially disruptive measure, while possibly causing short-term pain, would ultimately yield significant long-term benefits for the United States. The president elaborated on the breadth of potential countermeasures under consideration, hinting at a comprehensive strategy to rebalance the economic relationship. Among the proposed policies, a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States of America stands out, alongside numerous other countermeasures that are, likewise, under serious consideration. The looming confrontation has also cast a shadow over diplomatic engagements. Trump suggested that a planned summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea later this month might be cancelled, asserting that there seems to be no reason to proceed with the meeting given the current climate. This abrupt shift in tone and policy directly contrasts with Trump's assessment of U.S.-China relations just 4 months prior, when he characterized them as excellent following the signing of a tariff reduction deal. The spring had witnessed a significant ratcheting up of U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, reaching a peak of 145% amid escalating tensions. China responded in kind, imposing its own tariffs on U.S. exports that climbed to 125%. The intervention of officials from both sides, spurred by widespread apprehension regarding the global economic fallout of such punitive duties, had eventually led to a period of tentative de-escalation. U.S. tariffs on Chinese products were reduced to 30%, and Chinese tariffs on American goods were lowered to 10%, creating a more stable, albeit delicate, economic environment. The president's latest online salvo against Beijing, however, proved to be a significant shock to the financial markets. On Friday, the benchmark S&P 500 index plummeted by 2.7%, marking its worst trading day since April. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also saw a substantial retreat, falling 1.9% in New York, while the technology-heavy Nasdaq Composite experienced an even steeper decline of 3.6%. Even industry giants felt the sting, with shares of Nvidia, the world's largest publicly traded company by market value, dropping nearly 5%. The ripple effect extended to global markets, with London's FTSE 100 index closing down 0.9%. The strategic importance of rare earth elements cannot be overstated. China dominates the global supply chain, accounting for over 90% of the world's processed rare earths and rare earth magnets. These 17 critical elements are fundamental components in the production of a vast array of modern technologies, from electric vehicles and advanced batteries to sophisticated aircraft engines and consumer electronics. The urgency of this issue was highlighted earlier in the week when Beijing significantly expanded its export controls over rare earths, adding 5 new materials to its restricted list. A similar expansion of controls in April had previously led to global supply shortages, prompting intense diplomatic efforts to alleviate the crisis. Trump's pronouncements on Friday echoed his long-held suspicions regarding China's intentions. "I have always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I have been proven right," he declared. He voiced a strong conviction that China should not be permitted to exert undue influence or hold the world captive, particularly through its near monopoly on essential elements like rare earths, which he characterized as a sinister and hostile move. However, he also countered this by asserting that the United States possesses its own significant monopoly positions, asserting they are much stronger and far-reaching than China's. The aggressive tariff strategy championed by the president is a cornerstone of his policy agenda. He has consistently argued